Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today. We're you boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, we're going to talk about what is really going on with the Toronto Blue Jays. Ross Atkins yesterday had a press conference that really confused a lot of Blue Jay fans. What direction is this franchise going in? We don't really know, but we're going to talk about what possible avenues could they be going down. Is there a possible rebuild in the future? Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. So we're going to remind you guys a little bit of the quotes, the sort of sayings that Ross Atkins was kind of coming out with in this press conference that made a lot of Blue Jays fans really confused.
Yeah, they were wild, dude. I mean, like, this is the type of stuff that keeps you up at night, man. Ben Nicholson-Smith came out here and just, quoting Ross Atkins, said, we feel really good about the team that we have. So the team that they have right now, they feel really good about it. And then Shai Davidi went on to further quote him and said that most likely this offseason, the remainder of this offseason, they're going to add one more guy. Yeah. And it's probably going to be in the outfield in the DH category. Not necessarily what Blue Jays fans wanted to hear at all. And if you want to hear our full reaction on everything they said, go check out the live stream that we had yesterday, folks. But basically, to sum up and translate everything that Ross Atkins had to say, we missed out on the big players. We did not get Shohei Ohtani, which he did come out and say that he was disappointed about.
Right.
And now we are taking a different approach, which is going to see us really trust in the players that we have right now. So the big budget offseason that a lot of people anticipated that the Blue Jays were going to go after, that we thought they were going to do when they were in on Ohtani, when they were considering trading for Juan Soto, when they were looking like they could get Cody Bellinger, that big budget offseason probably isn't going to happen, and it has a lot of people wondering why.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of people wondering why, and especially looking at Ross Atkins going, why are you saying this now? Because he was the one who came out and said, yeah, we're going to go get these bats. We're going to go make some impactful moves to the Toronto Blue Jays. So, yeah, I could completely understand why everyone's confused. We are confused right here, but we're going to talk about it on this channel. Yeah, let's start off with that. What is possibly one avenue that the Toronto Blue Jays could be going down? I think what you really got to look at first is we got to look at who's on the team for the next few years, right? You got to see who's on payroll for the Toronto Blue Jays, and we got them right here. So if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever platform that you're listening to us on, we're going to read it out for you guys. Right here, you got George Springer. He's on the team for 2024, big contract. He's on for, I think, 3 more seasons. Kevin Gausman, he's here for another 3 seasons. Chris Bassett here for 2. Berrios, he's here for a while. I think he's got 5 more years left. And then you got Bo Bichette, only 2 more seasons. Kevin Kiermaier, 1. Now you're getting to all the 1-year deals. Kikuchi, 1. Garcia, 1. Chad Green, I think he's on a 2. So and then you got all the arbitration players down here. O'Connor Falef is on a 2. Guerrero's on 2. Everyone's kind of on 2, 3 on all these arb deals. So the window of the Toronto Blue Jays, it's kind of closing with this current core right now.
Well, we've been saying for a long time that the best opportunity that they have to win with this team that they have right now is the next 2 years. And I think that a lot of people are hoping that if you go out and you get a Shohei Ohtani, you get a Cody Bellinger, you've just gone out and you've committed to extending that window. That is your commitment by saying, well, we're going to pay this guy $200 million, or we're going to pay Shohei Ohtani $700 million. We are committed to going out and to winning a chip for potentially the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years time. But this new approach to not having the big budget offseason, it's left a lot of people, ourselves included, wondering, is this to leave the door open, to leave the window open for in a year or in 2 years to hang them up, to get rid of Ross Atkins, to get rid of Mark Shapiro, to potentially trade away a Guerrero or a Bo Bichette, to say that this core is not working and start again?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. If I'm Ross Atkins, though, I'm thinking, look, his contract's coming up very soon, too. I believe it's either 25 or 20 or 2026. I'm thinking, well, I gotta, and that's why I thought he was gonna go make a big move. I thought he was gonna go get the Ohtani, go get the Bellinger, and try to secure himself even further with the Toronto Blue Jays. So I'm wondering why, or maybe he wasn't given enough money by the upper management. Like we're talking like upper, like by Mark Shapiro or even the Rogers communication being like, well, we want to kind of save this just in case. So maybe it's not even a Ross Atkins thing. It could be an even upper thing.
I don't think it's a Ross Atkins thing at all, man. I think that if Ross Atkins had his way, yeah, he'd go and spend all the money because at the end of the day, right, that's just a win for him. But I think that if you're Rogers Communication Company and you are looking at what this core of management has done, and specifically Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins, in the tenure that they have been there, they have spent a crap load of your money, That's their money, Rogers' money. They have brought a competitive team, but they have never won a playoff game. So when he's coming to you and saying, well, I want to get Bellinger and I want to get these other guys. I mean, it's one thing to go out and get Shohei Ohtani because you know that you're going to acquire the entire fan base of Japan if you do that. So that's one thing. Right. But all of these other players, what's to say that we're going to go spend $250 on Bellinger and you are going to make a better team? I mean, I think that if you're Rogers Communication Company right now, you are looking at this and you're saying, hey, we did that with Springer and we did that with Gausman. Now it's time for you with the team that we gave you to actually go out and win some goddamn playoff games.
Yeah, I think that is kind of what he's saying. And I think when he's saying we feel really good about the team, it's not only just to like please the team, because you don't want to go and shit on your team.
No, of course not.
Over the internet. I think it's a way for him to be like, okay, well, this is the team what we have. I think that could be a realistic possibility. So with that being said, what is the future? What is really going on? Are we going to try and roll out this team one more time? Make a couple little additions here that aren't going to break the bank? Because you also got to consider here, folks, we were over the luxury tax, right? And now it looks like we're down below it. We got the luxury tax right over here. It looks like we're down below it. So are they going to take this year, hey, roll out these guys, stay under the luxury tax. We don't want to get penalized anymore, so that potentially the next year, because in the second year, you're looking at one more year of Vlad, one more year of Bo. If they're not doing it, do we restart? Do we get rid of Ross Atkins? Do we trade away these guys and start a new regime with someone else?
Well, I think that 2024 is absolutely massive for the Toronto Blue Jays, because if you go out and you see these guys with the team that they have right now, if Guerrero pops off and Bichette pops off and Springer bounces back and this team pushes 92, 93, 94 wins, maybe even more than that, and can win a playoff series, congratulations, you have just bought yourself some more time. You have maybe even opened the door for a big Guerrero extension or a big Bichette extension. And by not going out and signing Cody Bellinger, you are leaving yourself the opportunity to do that. So that's a positive thing, right? If this team is good, then you can extend your players that you currently have. Maybe you can even extend Ross Atkins if they're good. But if they're bad, then you have now given yourself the opportunity, because you're not committed to a Bellinger for 10 years or an Ohtani for 10 years, you've now given yourself the opportunity to potentially restart and to trade away a Guerrero or to trade away a Bo Bichette, to fire a Ross Atkins, to bring in another GM, to bring in another manager in general, right? You've left yourself that possibility, and you're not going to have a ton of players on the books after that, so you're not going to be forced into being competitive. I think they have now kind of put all of it on the table and said, be good or you're gone.
So then I got to ask, what was that whole conversation about, or what was that whole statement he made early on about, like, we have lots of money to spend, we're going to go out and spend it, we're going to make a big splash? What was that? What could that possibly be?
Time for a quick shout out to Betway. Betway is the best place to make all of your sports bets on all of your favorite teams. Betway is also in collaboration with iGaming Ontario. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
I'm assuming, and again, this is just from somebody talking here on YouTube and, podcasts and everything, I'm assuming that was most likely a tactic from him to say, hey, we're going to be in the mix. We do want to speak to all these free agents. We want to have the conversations, because he doesn't want to say, hey, we have $0 to spend. Don't come talk to us. You can't say that. And at the end of the day, they were very seriously involved with Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to say that if you want to be in on Ohtani.
See, and I think the whole Ohtani conversation, to touch on that, like, I think the reason why they actually were involved, and you mentioned a little bit before, is because, yes, he would pull in a lot of money. I think that might have been the one guy that Rogers was like, okay, like, we will actually give you money to go spend this and get this guy, the best player ever.
Well, he's different, right? I mean, it kind of sucks in the sense that Japan just doesn't give as much shits about Cody Bellinger as they do to Shohei Ohtani. If they did, maybe we would be in on him, right? Like if he brought that same level of attention to your team, maybe the Toronto Blue Jays would want to go after it. But from their standpoint, I don't see any difference between Cody Bellinger and George Springer a few years ago.
Not at all.
I mean, you went out, you did that. That's not necessarily going exactly how you plan. And if you're not going to make it work with that guy, then how are you going to make it work with this new guy who is in the same position and, you know, could be just as volatile?
Look, the reality is, like, the Blue Jays made big splashes for the last 4 years. You know, Hyun-Jin Ryu, George Springer, Kevin Kiermaier, Chris Bassett, or not Kevin Kiermaier, Kevin Gausman, excuse me. So you've made 4 years of splashes, and again, what's it resulted? 0 playoff wins. That's additional revenue. That's what you're pitching to Rogers. Look, I want a competitive team to get additional revenue in the playoffs. You're going to bring in more fans for that year and the following year, and you're going to bring in a lot of TV revenue. A lot of sponsorships are coming in here, and it didn't happen. So now they got to pull back the budget a little bit. We don't have money to spend now, guys. The budget we gave to you, it's getting lower. We didn't earn the money that you projected. We hit the bottom. I mean, hell, you had people in September not even showing up to games. Because it was a boring, not exciting team with the offense, and there was not enough there for Ross to convince the upper management that we need to go get a Cody Bellinger to fix that solution.
What is really going on with the Toronto Blue Jays right now is Rogers Communications Company is basically telling Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro that we are going to pull your funding until you win some games and you win some playoff series. And if the Toronto Blue Jays do not get better in 2024, if this current team doesn't do more than they did in 2023, if they do not improve, then yeah, I think that you could see some serious changes on this squad moving forward.
That's pretty frightening. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about what is coming next for the Toronto Blue Jays? We want to hear your thoughts down below.
Please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, shout out to our Patreon members. $3 a month, become a Patreon member. All of you guys are so appreciated, and our YouTube members too. We love all of you guys.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!